YouTube is not gonna save your life. And matter of fact, if you don't avoid the mistakes in this video that I talk about, it probably will actually ruin your life. The reason being is because whether you watch content or you make content, YouTube is only gonna do as much as you want it to do. For the people who always consume content, just realize that YouTube's not gonna change your life the way that you want unless you change it yourself. You're not gonna sit here every day, watch the same videos regurgitated by the 10 different creators and expect things to change if you won't. You have to realize that you become a slave to your habits. Like we all have it to a certain extent. And what I mean, for example, for a lot of us, we go to work, we go to the gym afterwards, we go home and we just do the same thing for 5 days and then spend the next 2 days off doing bullshit. What? Partying, watching TV, just wasting our days while we could be getting better. And I'm not saying that there should be no balance, but just realize if you're not changing what you're doing on a consistent basis, how could your life change at all? And like, for example, a lot of people will be like, why can't I make no money? Why can't I go on that vacation? Why can't I have the things that I want to have? But at the same time, they do the same thing over and over again, these low income producing activities, like going to work at a job that does not pay you well, not getting any sort of skills that can help benefit your life, not learning new things, trading your time for money and just doing things that are very, very low income producing work is never gonna get you the kind of results you need or want. You need to start really doing your research on the things that you want. The biggest problem is you guys will hear advice, you guys will watch these videos and you won't do anything about it. Problem is, especially young cats, is that when you're young, you think everyone knows better than you and you think that everyone has the truth to your life. And that's a very easy trap to fall into. I fell into that when I was 19 years old. The simple truth in the matter about being great and being the best version of yourself is this. You're not inadequate. You do have what it takes, but the amount of suffering and loneliness and hardship that's gonna come from being where you wanna be at, to a lot of you guys is not worth it, deep down in your subconscious. A lot of you guys don't wanna have to sacrifice your Friday nights, Saturday nights, not playing video games all night and actually doing some fucking work like a man. A lot of you guys don't want to have to find a new group of friends because you guys understand that if you guys start breaking the comfort of your routines that your friends have made with you, they're gonna fall off and your guys are gonna stop being friends. These things scare you guys to the point that you guys live every day the same day, pretty much. Every day is the same day. These things scare you to the point that every day becomes the same day, that they blend in together. There's some of y'all boys who've lived the past 4 or 5 years for the same person. You guys literally are the same person. The only thing that's changed is that your hairline's gotten worse and you got uglier. That's it. Ask yourself this. We're halfway through 2024 already. What have you done to put yourself in a better position? What process have you started that's gonna change your life in about a year from now? Have you learned any sort of new skills, new languages, new ways of making money, new ways of living your life? Probably not, right? But what you will do is you'll go ahead here and watch an AMS video or watch a motivational video that'll gas you up for maybe an hour or two, and then it'll burn out and you'll still be the same person at the end of the day. You have to start changing who you are. You need to start having those conversations with yourself saying, when am I gonna start taking my life serious? Because if you guys aren't noticing by now, your life is only gonna get faster as you continue to age because you're gonna get used to doing the same thing over and over and over again. As soon as you get out of college, you start getting a real man's job, you start seeing how big of a scam that living life is. Like, you get taxed on the money that you make, the cost of food and living is getting higher and higher and higher. If you don't got no sort of hustler's heart, your life is gonna be boring as shit for the rest of your life. Most of these dudes that you guys follow and admire on YouTube don't know what it is to be in your position. Most of them guys have never had no real hardships because they got lucky at a certain point. And there's nothing wrong with being lucky, but you have to realize that luck comes from taking action. If you don't take action for the things you want or take action on getting the things that you can, you're never ever gonna get to the point where you are lucky. You do get a quick W that maybe was blessed by God. You shouldn't be looking at YouTube as the Bible. You should be asking questions of God, asking questions about yourself, and then ultimately working through your own life so that way you have a tailored plan that's gonna get you to where you want. There's no sort of book you can read, there's no sort of guide, there's no coach who's gonna bring you to the promised land like that. Yes, there's people who can help you take steps there, but at the end of the day, you have to trust yourself and get to that point yourself. YouTube's not coming to save you. Your parents aren't coming to save you. Your friends aren't coming to save you. Damn well the government isn't coming to save you. You have to do it for yourself. You have to figure out different ways to make money. It's 2024, bro. If you're not in a Discord group, you're not in a Telegram group, you're not following people who are heavily involved on finances on Twitter, you're not involved in any sort of investing shit, no sort of anything, why are you getting mad that your results are the same? Why are you getting mad that there's people making 100K a year, 200K a year, and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing? You have to find the cheat codes throughout the walkthrough in order for it to get easier. Like, you have to figure out how people are doing these things that you want. You can't be at the bottom and be scared to take a risk, bro. That makes no sense. If you're at the bottom and you feel you're at your lowest point, or you feel like you're at a low point in your life, especially you guys in college, you got time on your hands. That's the one thing you do have if you're at a low point. You got time. Well, not even if you're working a full-time job at like Walmart. If you're doing some low-income job where it's like you can get another one the next day, any time you have to invest in yourself, you should take advantage of it, bro. There's no way in hell you guys should be watching these videos and having the resources that you have now and not making some moves. Like, I was talking to some young dudes in this Discord group and I'm like, if I would have had the resources I had in this group back when I was 18, 19, I'd probably be rich now. And I'm not being funny, I'm not trying to joke. I was making a lot of money when I was 18, 19, because I used to manage a restaurant. It wasn't a lot, but back to me as a kid, it was like $29 an hour, right? Making that much money back then, had I actually put that into like the right places instead of just blowing it on stupid shit, like I was blowing it on like shoes, clothes. What else? I don't even remember where the money was going to, bro. If I'm being honest, I don't know where the money was going. I'm really trying to figure it out right now. Where was this money going to? Just dumb shit, bro. And had I put that money into like investing into myself, especially if I would have invested it into like the NFTs and all that goofy shit early, I could have 10x the amount of money that I was making, bro. And who knows where I could be at. But a lot of us creators who got into this space, we came here because we have a passion for what we teach or what we talk about, which for me was self-improvement content. A lot of times when you get into the space, especially when you've seen the previous YouTubers that were coming before us, you thinking that this shit's gonna be a cakewalk. You think that it's gonna allow you to make easy amount of side income so that way you can do your own thing, right? I'm here to say that that's not the case. Nowadays in 2024, the YouTube space has become so full of people who are looking for clout, looking for shock value because it pays. Nowadays, you can't just come on here, spit some real shit, show y'all results, show you who I am, and you know, that's enough. And unfortunately, the YouTube algorithm wants the most clicks and the most amount of watch time. So if you're not doing your best to make sure you're making the highest quality content, which can, for a lot of situations, a lot of niches, is doing crazy shit, then you're not gonna really go nowhere with this shit. And that's why I see it to do for yourself. Like, being in this YouTube space, you have to do for yourself. As a creator, it's very tempting to wanna spend hours and hours and hours every fucking day putting it into the grind, which is definitely a part of the process. But when it gets to the point where you feel like it's all or nothing, that's not where you wanna be at. You wanna have other ways of making money besides this. Like, and then you should really only be doing YouTube if you really have a love and passion for it. This shit is not for people who are fly-by-night ass people who just wanna do it to make a bag. This shit is no longer like that. I think that in my space in particular, when Hamza started dominating the space, he started promoting a lot of like, make your own YouTube channel, make your own self-improvement channel, you can make some money, because that's how you learn how to make money. People start realizing that there was a bad deal made from like him, Steph is Cold, AMS, that at that point, it overly inflated the market of self-improvement content. So the real got blended in with the fake dudes. So you got a lot of these dudes who will tell you something like, oh, go make some money, bro. Oh, go be the best version of yourself. The whole while being, they're sitting in their mom's house, fucking edging the fucking cartoon. and I really felt compelled to make this video because having it be almost my 2 years of being on YouTube, yes, I would say having a personal brand may be the best way to make money because, again, you can scale any sort of product you're selling. You will always have supporters who are willing to pay you if whatever you're making is good. And secondly, it's like you get to be who you want to be. But don't come into the space hoping that it's gonna be a quick, easy, you made a couple of videos, now you're on. Like, some people can do that, but for the majority of us that are really grinding on this stage, you're gonna have to do it because you love doing it. You don't want to be the person who's trying to sell someone on a dream so that way you can live your dreams. That's not a good way of doing things. There's an opportunity cost when you're on YouTube, when you're making YouTube content. For the most of us who are actually trying, you're gonna have to learn a lot of different skills you didn't know when you first started. You're gonna have to learn how to edit, probably. You're gonna have to be a lot more charismatic on the camera, learn how to talk to the camera, learn how to use your hand movements, all that shit. And then on top of that, you're gonna really have to just find out who you are throughout the process. Like, You know, this isn't gonna be an overnight thing for most of you guys. Learn to appreciate who you become throughout the journey. Like, I may not have gotten the results yet that I wanted from YouTube, which is coming, by the way, don't worry. This is not that kind of video. But I realized that the amount of different emotions I felt doing this, the amount of different grinds I've done, the amount of different obstacles I've overcame, whether it was making the video itself, you know, editing the video, those things build you into a man that's worth a lot of character that will lead you to future wins. And I really think that if it wasn't for the YouTube grind that I'm on, the kind of person who I am right now would not be the case. Like, I can't be the person who sits around, conforms to society, and feels happy. My whole life has been a consistent battle with myself, my surroundings, and me just being a fighter against what was supposed to be my destiny, which is supposed to be sitting in Buffalo, no money, bored, broke, ugly, you know, all that shit. Just realize that the journey is gonna make you into the person you wanna become. Sometimes it's not always about the outcome. I don't really like my destiny being fed onto the idea that an algorithm controls ultimately what's gonna happen to what my product. At least with certain things, I know that if I put this in and I do these things, this will be the result. That's good to a certain extent. I'm not gonna allow the past 5 years of mistakes become the next 5 years as well. You have to make a point in your life where you say, you know what? The past 5 years, the past how many years was not the way I wanted it to be. I got so much time, hopefully, that I can change the future. And that's how you have to look at these things. YouTube is not gonna come save you. You have to save yourself. You have to invest in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Don't give up. Don't look at these things as a one-way ticket to getting out of your situation. You have to keep fighting. You cannot be one-dimensional. That's how you end up losing everything that you came here with. Realize you're the only person who's gonna set yourself free, and make sure you guys subscribe because I'm gonna keep posting things like this. I don't really give a fuck how this video does. I'm gonna holler back at y'all. Peace.